Hello everyone, my name is Sunban1521. I'm joined here again with Funny Chocobo 13, and I'm here to talk about what Bungie revealed this past Saturday. So Bungie revealed gameplay of Rift and Clash the best way possible. They were pitting some of the best Destiny players against one another, such as Triple Reich, Flamesword, KJ Hovey, Boltzmann, Tash, and Datto. So they played 5 matches of Rift and 2 matches of Mayhem Clash. For those of you who don't know, Rift is a new game mode coming into the Taken King that pits players into a game of neutral capture the flag, except for the fact that the flag is a spark and there's space magic everywhere. So, Chocobo, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the supers?
So in this, whole new Mayhem Clash and Rift gameplay, we saw all the 3 new subclass supers at work. We saw the Night Stalker Shadow Shot, Stormcaller Storm Trance, and Sunbreaker's Hammer of Soul, and let me tell you, they just look fantastic. Obviously Hunter at Heart here, I love the fact that the tethering of the Shadow Shot, the fact that it could cancel out people's supers, the fact that it made Tash, he couldn't double jump anymore, it suppressed his double jump so he fell off a cliff. I just thought it was great. So something else that I found also really interesting was that I didn't actually think that the Sunbreaker's hammer, like the hammer explosion when he threw a hammer, was as big as I thought it would be. So I think that's actually a great way to keep it balanced, because it's not going to be as big as like a Nova Bomb or a Fist of Havoc. It's going to be a great way for the multiple throwing of hammers to still be balanced in gameplay with a whole bunch of other supers.
I mean, yeah, especially when there's that much chaos going on, the fact that Sunbreakers, if those explosions were any bigger, it'd be ridiculous. So, going off that tangent, since they played Rift for most of the part, I actually wanted to talk about how you think the new supers would be playing in matches of Rift. So, let's start off with, obviously, our favorite class, the Hunter class, hashtag Hunter at Heart.
Hashtag Hunter at Heart.
The Night Stalker is the Void type subclass for the Hunter, and essentially what it has is this super called Shadow Shot, which basically pulls out a Void Bow, a Void Arrow, and kills any enemy in PvP it hits, and on top of that, it tethers anyone else around a certain radius.
Well, if we're talking specifically Rift, I think it's going to be extremely useful when it comes to holding down either the enemy runner or capturing that Rift right off the bat, or that spark right off the bat. When you really get in there and you've got an enemy runner running right towards your Rift and you really need to defend it, and he's got 2 buddies right next to him and they're pulling out supers to stop you from killing the runner, you really need to suppress multiple supers at one time, keep people held down, not moving as much as possible, and make it easy for your own teammates to go in and kill that enemy runner. And I think the Shadow Shot is literally the perfect ability to do that. Something I wish we had seen a little bit more of was the Shadow Step, but that's fine. I'm waiting to experience it myself on the 15th, so whatever.
I want to see montages of where people use their their Striker Titan class or their Nova Bomb and just see a Shade Step. I want a montage for that. We should do a montage of that.
Oh, we'll get it. We'll do it. Trust me. You and I, we got this.
Right,
speaking of Striker Titans, and moving on to their new subclass. So we talked a little bit about the Sunbreaker and some of the Hammer, Soul, and whatnot, but because I'm in love with the Night Stalker and how it's going to play in Rift, how do you think the Sunbreaker is going to play in something like Rift?
Okay, so the Sunbreaker class I've actually been thinking about a lot, because definitely it's been out there, and it's definitely something that's like, everyone's like, I want to be a Titan class now. Well, I guess I gotta make a Titan, blah blah blah. So I've been thinking about, like, okay, why are people so hyped up about this class? Now, I think what's really great is that, first off, it looks very menacing. So when somebody's coming up to you, when they see that, you're just like, oh my lord. I mean, that's what they said in the developer video, and I honestly believe that's the truth. Like, when watching that video, and once I saw a Sunbreaker come out, I was just like, dang, that's scary. But in all seriousness, no, I've noticed when I was looking through the perk subclass, I noticed that a Sunbreaker can really help push a team forward, aka what a Titan was supposed to do in the very beginning, right? So they create these things called sunspots with their hammer, and they can use that to summon themselves an overshield, and with that help push their team forward. So if they're the ones pulling sunspots all over the place, And they have the perk that lets their super go off longer, have hammers, keep throwing more hammers. That allows them to push further into, you know, the spark or the rift. So that's what I found.
Gotcha. So this is what looks to be an offensive class that we're getting here that actually has great defensive utilities to it that could create like really a lot of versatility and, you know, a lot of changing in builds that we see around people playing the subclass. So you're the one who mains as a Warlock, and I have very little understanding of all your floofing about and whatever you guys call that glide thing.
Yes.
So tell me about the Stormcaller though. What's your take on it? Because I feel like we didn't actually see that much of that gameplay.
Well, I definitely think Holtzman really put it best. When you're playing as a Stormcaller Warlock, all you're going to mainly be doing is just zapping everything. You have a problem? Zap it. Anything going wrong? Zap it. Things are going well? Zap it again. Why not? So, something about that is that the Stormcaller has an increased range for melees. You know, I'm sorry.
Cheap.
I know, it's really bad. But with that, it makes them very, very effective with those close range encounters. So they can use that auto rifle, they can use that shotgun, and know safely that they can shotgun melee without a huge issue, so long as they can do it around the corner, because I know how much they've reduced the shotgun range, hopefully. So I know that's something that's really important. On top of that, I know there's another perk, which is uninsulated, which I found, is that whenever you get hit with a melee attack, you actually shock your attacker, which further proves my point that you can go in toe-to-toe, and especially when you're holding that rift and people are coming into you, people are chasing you down, you could definitely use that to your strength.
So does the class have any like defensive utilities, defensive capabilities at all, or because I'm sitting here smiling my little ass off as I try and figure out how best to kill you Warlocks next. Does it have any defensive capabilities, or am I just gonna be able to you know run in there with my shotgun as your storm calling or storm trancing, whatever the heck it's called, and just end your super right there?
Well, in terms of storm calling, what I actually noticed during Rift gameplay is that it's not necessarily used for defense. It's not necessarily, I mean, in terms of defense, sure, it can be used to defend your Rift holder, your spark holder, and it can, you know, say, alright, I will defend you, I'll take some bullets for you, but otherwise, I definitely think that Stormcaller is much more of a Slayer class than something like the Breaker class. Because with some Breakers, you can still at least have an overshield and at least protect yourself as you're going forward. When you're Stormcall, you are out in the open, you are literally levitating in the air saying, hey, shoot me.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, that's all I got on these guys. I'm just looking forward to playing these classes on the 15th. It is, what, 22 days away?
Oh my god, 22? That's, oh my, that's only 3 weeks away?
Well, yeah.
Alright.
The hype. It's coming back.
Choo choo,
I can feel
3
it.
stops away.
Alright, man.
Alright, so, well, as you can see, I'm personally excited to play as a Stormcaller, and Funny Chocobo 13 is very excited to play as a Night Stalker. What are you most excited to play? Are you going to stick with your Striker Titan class? Are you going to, you know, keep going with your Sunsinger? Are you going to go Blade Dance your way home? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, I'm Sunban1521, here with Funny Chocobo 13. We're doing what we must.
Because we can.
Bye-bye.